let's get to it. Now, I know a lot of y'all have heard about Showtime leaving boxing. Not only PBC, but they just left boxing, period. So they are shutting down Showtime Sports. And with that being said, a lot of people got questions. And those questions are, is the rematch with Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. going to be in jeopardy? My take on this is that it's not going to be in jeopardy.
Oh, look at this guy.
There's not going to be a breach of contract just because Showtime is not involved in this anymore. I mean, this could be something completely different. You see, the contract, I didn't see the contract, but I'm more than positive that it was most likely between Errol Spence, Crawford, and PBC. And Showtime was just the network where they was going to put this fight.
Stop the cap.
When Showtime did their contract with PBC, there's no guarantee that was part of the actual contract because they did the contract 5 years ago. So there was no guarantee that Showtime told PBC, hey, the only way we're going to do this is if y'all do the fight of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, and then the rematch have to be on here. And they're like, okay, let's do it like that. And then they put it into the contract, and most likely it wasn't like that.
What?
Let me break it down to you like this. I know most of you guys have heard of temp hire services. They're called temp services, where they hire people and they send them out to jobs and stuff. So you have an actual account with those people, with the temp services. You have an account with them, and they the one that hire you, and you have an account with them. That's equivalent to Errol Spence letting PBC promote him, right? You having an account with his temp services. And let's say they send you out to Best Buy. You don't necessarily work for Best Buy. That's where you are displaying your skills, but you don't necessarily work for Best Buy. You get what I'm saying? And if that Best Buy go out of business, that don't mean that you are fired from that temp service. You just go back to that temp service and be like, hey, so look, I can't go back there because they out of business now. It's not gonna cancel your account with the temp services. The temp service is just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, they are out of business. So we're just gonna send you guys to another Best Buy. Or we're gonna send you guys to another retail store.
What the hell did you just say?
So just because Showtime left boxing, that doesn't mean that this contract between Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, and PBC is void. And it doesn't mean that it's a breach of contract. So we most likely will still be seeing that rematch if they both agree to do the rematch. And we'll most likely see it on Amazon Prime or whatever streaming service they decide to go to. Speaking of streaming services, is it just me, or should PBC start their own streaming service? That's something that I've been thinking about. They should be able to do that. They should be able to make that investment where they ain't got to depend on these other streaming apps or streaming services. I think it'll be a smart move, and I think it'll be a smart investment to invest in their own streaming service. On another note, you guys know that Devin, Haney, and Regis Prograis just had a press conference. And the guy that Regis Prograis had with him, I never seen him before, but apparently it's his strength and conditioning coach. He kept bringing up the fact that Devin Haney, he ain't from the hood, you know, he don't know nothing about no violence, and this and that and this and that. And it's like, who cares?
Who cares?
What does this got to do with boxing? I don't get it. I mean, I really don't get it. I honestly don't get it. What does it got to do with boxing? There's a lot of greats who wasn't from the hood that still didn't stop them from being a great boxer. Sugar Ray Leonard was still a great boxer. He wasn't from the hood. Nor Muhammad Ali, nor Floyd Mayweather. They dads probably was. I know Floyd Mayweather's dad probably was hood, probably done things like that, but they kept Floyd out of the streets and into that gym. So what has this got to do with him being a great boxer? Who cares? That's one thing we got to stop doing within our people. Stop trying to promote being from the hood is a way to be validated. No, you can be validated even if you're not from the hood. You can be real and you can be great at what you're doing even if you're not from the hood. Because real gangsters from the hood trying to make it out of it. It's only idiots who think that being a gangster is fun and being from the hood is fun. No, it's not, bruh. And I get it. You know, boxing is a hard sport. It's a sport where this is what guys did. This is what they did when they didn't know how to play basketball, when they didn't know how to play football, when they weren't, you know what I'm saying, that smart at school. Boxing is the only thing that they had. So boxing itself comes from the grind, comes from the gutter. It's like the last resort to try to make it out the hood. Because you didn't have to really be great at it. You most likely just had to have heart to step into that ring. But once you have mastered the craft and you start to be great at it, then that's even better. I get that it comes from a grind. I get it. But we ain't got to keep it like that. We can promote the guys who didn't come up in the hood. We can promote those guys too. The guys where they dad come from the hood, but their dad made it out the hood and they made a better life for their kid. So their kid don't have to grow up and be from the hood like they were. He ain't gotta be from the hood to be validated. Like I said, the real gangsters in the hood, they actually trying their best to make it out the hood.